Another statue?
These guys really love themselves.
Now this is an emperor. A famous one too, Lerithir Imradir. He was emperor at the time of the Cataclysm.
Good job managing the trouble, mister. All these books floating around and I can't grab them.
I mean, no path to destination. Up the ladder. Oh, up the ladder. Guess ladders are not implemented. This ladder is not implemented yet. See if I can actually... if it'll path me up if I click on the chest. No. Oh well. One less box of loot.
What kind of runes are those?
Enchanted runes from the ancient imperial period. It's said that they had 8 schools of magic. Each is represented here, all as equals. This place is astounding. We're not here for runes, we're here for Sorax.
Wow, that's a lot of objectives. Tutorial Magic Runes Puzzle. Find the hidden runes that are barely shining on the ground and step on them to activate them.
I stepped on some magical rune. I guess there's a reason for that. Oh, nothing. Very funny. Good work. Another one here.
Looks like there should be a 4th one. Rock says, I like that you can interact with the environment. Okay. Oh, there's the 4th one. It was under the rock. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty staple to have puzzles and or interactive interactive environment in CRPG. Was there some specific aspect of it you were talking about? I agree.
We did
I wouldn't
it!
know if I would be stepping on
Was
random
that
runes as well.
insane puzzle the work of some long-dead Manacallan wizard? Probably. Even from the tomb, that magical
I wouldn't
arsehole is
assume that it
messing
was a
with
puzzle,
us.
I would assume that it's probably a trap. Okay, so I think we activated the orb. There was another orb that was by a door. So it's probably the door is probably openable now. Can we just get over there? Jump across? Looks like it. The big crate bridge you pushed down earlier. Oh yeah, doesn't look very stable. Yeah. Oh, and there's a campfire. I am very, very stingy with my spells. I really don't know where the campfires are. Like in that battle with the spiders, I'm doing a lot of like, cheap attacks, like cantrips and other things. Not really using my full spell utilization. I feel like it would be kind of, I kind of would like it better if they're like in a Baldur's Gate or Baldur's Gate 2, where you can set up camp anywhere. You just run the risk of having an encounter with enemies. Or in Pathfinder, likewise. But there's things that you can do to mitigate those encounters, to keep those encounters from happening. So. I haven't even done a short rest today. Do a short rest and see. Alright, cancel. Do the... Yep. You have expended one spell slot at this level. Do I have the ability to recharge one of my spells or something? Arcane something or other? What's it called? Arcane recovery. Once per day when you complete a short rest, you can recover a number of expended spell slots. Okay, so it's just after I hit short rest. So let's just go ahead and do that. So October says, what's the backstory with this tower? It was just some arcanist's hideout? No, it's a big arcane library from the pre-cataclysm. You came here because somebody said there might be Sorax here or something, and we were looking for a Sorak head. We ran into some workers who attacked us for no reason, and then we got further in and we discovered the library. Alright, we're just gonna do the art. Keep the short rest, because we don't need to do the long rest right now. No point. Tutorial mana lamps. In Manikalon Ruins, you may come across these magical lamps. They use magical power and cast a brighter and more reliable light than torches. Any magical damage will activate them, even a cantrip. Okay. Alright, we're gonna be sneaky. October says, I see. So basically the quest giver said, go to this epic location filled with magic and books, but bring back a lizard man head. Yes, exactly. But I'm not sure if they knew what was inside the tower. Which is strange. But it's been a really long time since the Cataclysm, and it seems like a very obvious place. It seems like it would have been explored a long time ago. I mean, if we look at the map, I think it even says Arcanist's Tower on it.
Hidden.
So
They're here. Sorax? What else could they be? You ready to do this? Get in position. Hit him hard and take him by surprise. Ready?
rail count as cover? No. Or maybe it just doesn't show me if I'm not in combat? Alright, what do we have? We have Skirmisher, Warrior. I think the Skirmishers throw spears, so they have range. Warrior. 3 warriors, 2 skirmishers. Yeah, multiple quest objectives in sight. Oh, so our map tells us there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. And since we know we have a campfire right behind us, we can just go all out. I don't think they can get up here. This might be a good position for ranged attacks. Also, from up here, we'd be able to have good ranged attacks on them as they ran up the stairs to get to us. And they'd have to run a little bit further to be able to get to us, plus it looks like we could potentially block off. Keep them one by one if we needed to here. The only problem is the skirmishers, so we could take out the go for the skirmishers first. Kind of go all out on the skirmishers so they can't actually range us. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh. No need to wait on the loot. Let's just check the loot out now. Archstone. It's kind of that's like a reddish geode. That's kind of cool. EP. Crafting scroll of mage armor. Okay. How is our XP coming along? Let's just take it. We are a ways off to level 4. Now, I can't tell if this place is dimly lit, brightly lit, or anything. It seems to be lit enough, but I can't tell. When I mouse over the guys, I don't see. It doesn't say brightly lit. It doesn't say dimly lit, so I won't be able to tell. Probably till combat starts. Now, there's this area here. I want to make sure no enemies are going to come through there once the fight starts, you know. Prize mechanics. Oh, it doesn't look like I can even get there unless I go down. Alright, so I just realized that my super smart strategy might not work, because Zorax can climb walls pretty easily. I don't know if they can jump from here to here. I don't know if they'll actually be able to climb this pillar. I don't know if this counts as a climbable surface or not. So we'll have to see. Alright, so I think we'd want Vicious to stand here, and Zera to stand here. Okay, I think that's good for setup. We're going to start with our sneak attacker on this skirmisher. Rolls with disadvantage. I'm confused. X rolls dex stealth ability with disadvantage. Okay, that's a disadvantage. X deals more damage to Sora Akath skirmisher from higher ground. So I'm finally getting higher ground counted. Okay, so that's. So it seems like they, you know, in a lot of the areas that I've been in so far, even if you're in higher ground, it's not recognizing your higher ground. Like they have to, like they haven't programmed that in or something. But I don't know why we get higher ground advantage here, when in other locations I've clearly been at higher ground, and I haven't gotten that. So weird. So this is coming from. Like outside when we're coming in on those workers, I didn't get any higher ground damage notifications. this is from Ix's, what is it called? Her subclass, Darkweaver. She gets her proficiency bonus as additional damage when she hits an enemy at a lower location than she is. Where it looks like I should be able to get through that. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna end the turn. Now the next target is the other skirmisher. We want to take him out. So the skirmisher only took 12 damage. They've only got 11 damage, so I think with Magic Missile, we have a good chance of doing that. Use our level 1 spell. The other thing I could do is we got all of these guys all grouped up here. This might be a good time for sleep. But it's only going to work on something like 30 hit points of damage, I think. Alright, 30 hit points of enemies. Okay, I'm just gonna quick save because I'm curious how effective it's gonna be. We could also boost the level of sleep up to a level 2, but I don't know. Add 2 dice to the effect. First spell slot over 1, 2 dice. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us how many dice we get at level 1, so. In other games, I think it's like 24 hit points at level 1, or 30 something hit points. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's just do the level 1 version. Let's see how much we affect.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Okay, Exia rolls a pool of 25 hit points for sleep. Is that actually a roll, or is that supposed to be a static amount? Let's see, let's try again. One of the things I think should definitely should absolutely be in early access versions of games. Especially because this game could be picked up by people who don't have access to the D&D world, don't want to go Google it or whatever. Is that every spell mechanic information should be clear in the spell interface. There's no reason to not have it there. Especially since it's essentially copy and paste, right, from D&D manuals, unless you make design decisions that change that. And especially if you do that, if it's changed from the actual rule books or available stuff that can be found on the internet, you should definitely include the how your spell is working specifically, so that players understand. Right. So, sleep, level 1 enchantment. It says nothing about how many hit points are affected, how many enemies, etc. It just says inflicts magical sleep, unable to act until awoken, and it affects an area. If I didn't know anything about the sleep spell at all, if I'd never played a D&D game before, I would look at this and go, oh, sweet, I just have to target any enemies in this sphere will fall asleep. Well, that's not the case because there's a limit to the number of hit points that can be affected. In-game says, can anyone poison anyone yet? Yes. But I'd have to get up close and personal, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I can poison my bow. And I've been pretty much playing a ranged game. But if I get an opportunity to do a poison attack, I will give it a shot and see how it works. I'm just testing real quick. I'm testing. Okay, so Hexy rolls a pool of 24 hit points for sleep. The last time we rolled 25, and this time we rolled 24. So there is some sort of roll happening. But unfortunately the game isn't showing us the actual roll itself. So we can't really determine how many dice or whatever are being used. I think that's good enough. I think we can keep them asleep, which is actually good because then we can run down with Aches and do a poison attack and test it out while it's sleeping. Was in that, and then alright, Bizarra is stealthy, so we'll get advantage on this attack. And we'll go ahead and use our Channel Divinity on the attack. So strike, we'll get additional damage and a stun, hopefully. Sustains 6 damage. It also got stunned. So we did 1 damage from the blunt force attack. I think that's from the Channel Divinity. Yeah, so our ACAP warrior rolls a Constitution save against Decisive Strike. It failed the Decisive Strike, so it took 1 damage from the Decisive Strike attack, and it got stunned. Interesting. So it looks like it's rolling the Decisive Strike effect before it even... Stealth. Things damage. Stealth. Oh no. Why is it having me roll multiple stealth rolls? That's interesting. Okay, so it had me shoot the crossbow first. I hit with the crossbow, then it had me do Decisive Strike. I got confused there. Okay. So stun is helpful because I think anybody who attacks it has advantage. I don't know if there's more to it than that. Find out. Oh, we have one more guy way over there. I'm surprised. Okay. So advantage. Sorakath warrior is stunned, so we have advantage for that reason, and we have also Vicious is still stealthy, so we get advantage for that reason. Now advantages don't stack. The enemies either have an advantage on an enemy or you don't. But if we had for some reason a disadvantage, let's say the enemy was dimly lit and we had these 2 advantages, we would actually have advantage because actually I take that back, that's right. If the enemy has even 1 disadvantage on them, it wipes out all your advantages. Likewise, if you had multiple disadvantages and the enemy had... Essentially, as long as there's one or the other, it cancels out all advantages and disadvantages. In-game says, putting an enemy to sleep and then poisoning may be the way to go. Yeah, let's see.
More caution next time.
Nice. So, roll with advantage. We got the hit, and it did 13 damage. That's like max damage, I think. Wait, bow is 8, and then what are dexterity bonus? No longer stunned, dead. Yeah, cool. We have this enemy over here. We haven't used our action surge yet. kind of hesitant to use it because I can't tell if... So when I'm mousing over the enemy now, I can see that it's dimly lit. But I would have disadvantage on this, so it's not a good time for me to use my action surge. I'll just end my turn. Oh, of course, more enemies show up. Right. Well, good thing we put 2 asleep. Now we only have 2 to deal with.